Rayman is coming back sooner rather than later, and if the leaks are to be believed, we could have a remake on our hands. So to sum up really quickly, it was leaked a while ago by Insider Gaming that Rayman was not only being worked on as a brand, but that a remake called Project Steambot internally was being worked on. Now further leaks have been made by Insider Gaming saying there is a remake in the works, and if that does well then Rayman 4 will happen. This is about the pros and the cons and the fun stuff we want to see, the crappy stuff we don't want to see, what we love about Rayman 1, what we hate about Rayman 3, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's delve right into the multiplayer world of Rayman M/Arena/Rush, technically since we're counting all of them as one. Rayman M, the multiplayer spin-off in the Rayman series released between Rayman 2 and Rayman 3, or if the camera is flipped, Rayman 2 and Rayman 3. This video is going to be a little bit shorter because while there are pros and cons for them remaking this, I think we probably have to be honest with ourselves and say this is the least likely for them to be remaking. I want to make this video anyway because I want to share some love about Rayman M, or Arena, depending on where you live. And I haven't really talked about it on the channel before, so I just want to sort of go through what I would like to see in a modern multiplayer Rayman game, because I don't know, it was really unique, and I feel like something like that could still have a place now. I mean, multiplayer gaming is the biggest it's ever been, and you know, honestly, the battle mode, the racing mode, it's the kind of thing that's sort of popular. Like, imagine a battle royale version of Rayman M. I'm not saying I want loads of live service stuff and microtransactions everywhere, but I do think like a dedicated multiplayer Rayman, or at least a multiplayer mode, would be pretty fun. So without further ado, let's get into it. Firstly, more modes. In terms of pros, I want to see more modes. Obviously we have the racing mode and we have the battle mode. I would love to see even more. I don't know how that would take form. Maybe mini challenges, take from Rayman Legends a little bit. With the racing, you could have infinite routes, you know. It's not too hard to do like a 3D randomly generated, like endless run. So you could do challenge mode stuff like Legends used to have, but in Rayman M. The battle modes, I could absolutely see them bulking that one out some more. Add some single player elements to it too, so while it is a multiplayer game when you play it with friends with online functionality, you could also do stuff like single player challenges, like going into an arena and fighting hordes of enemies yourself, or going into a race and racing hordes of enemies yourself. I mean, I know Rayman M and Arena did have a single player mode, but it wasn't quite as bulked out as I think it maybe could have been, and in a remake I would certainly like to see that going further. I'd love to see more characters. Obviously Rayman M came out after Rayman 2, so hoodlums, anyone from Origins and Legends, any Rabbid related characters were obviously not in the original game. I would love to see more characters, more skins. The soundtrack in Rayman M is phenomenal, so I'd want that to be largely untouched or like just remastered. There's a lot of good stuff we could get from the multiplayer Rayman game. I think on top of bringing in characters from the subsequent Rayman games, I would love to see environments and just everything you can get from Rayman 3, Raving Rabbids, Rayman Origins, Rayman Legends, all of that, shove it into the multiplayer game, make this like the definitive multiplayer game of Rayman. And if, let's say, they make Rayman M a remake, and then the franchise continues with Rayman 4, continuously update it, bring new characters in, new arenas, new things like that. And if they really wanted to go live service with it, you can do challenges, you can do new skins and new like victory dances to unlock or whatever. You can do a battle royale mode. While I don't support the idea of live service and microtransactions and all that stuff, it's a modern multiplayer game. We have to assume that in order for it to keep surviving, it would need ways to make money. So like, just make it good. I personally don't think Rayman M is coming, for the record, but this is a fun one to talk about. While I've got you here, I'm going to ask you very kindly to click the subscribe button, like the video, and if you want to support the channel, you can become a member down below. There are perks, so it's a win-win for everybody. That's all I got. I think a big open hub world would be pretty fun, both for single player and multiplayer, where you could just jump in and maybe even a bit like Mario Kart World style, where in this big hub world kind of connects all the arenas and everything. There are just little challenges you can go and find and little things you can go and unlock, and you can do it with friends, you can do it alone. I feel like a big interconnected Rayman universe could be really fun in a multiplayer game. It doesn't need to be too cohesive, it doesn't need to fit the narrative of Rayman 2 and 3 or anything. Just connect everything, make it a big open playground to run around in. I want to see Rayman feeling different to play, as Glowbox does, as Razorbeard, as Andre, as Reflux, as all of these characters. I want it to be ridiculous, I want it to be bombastic, I want hundreds of options, I want large areas to race around in, fight around in, obstacle courses for platforming challenges all over the shop, hundreds and thousands of collectibles hidden in the open world. Honestly, I think an open world multiplayer Rayman challenge game could be so fun. I would absolutely love to see that. Honestly, while I don't think Rayman M or Arena are being remade, Ubisoft, this is an open message to you. Please do something like this one day. If this isn't what you're working on, and if this isn't your plan for Rayman 4, add a third game to the mix, please, and please let it be this one. And I don't want hundreds of microtransactions, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is a big open world multiplayer Rayman game. That would actually just be fantastic and people would love it, because the one issue that I personally have with Rayman Revolution is that it's open world, and I think that just takes away a bit from the magical linear journey of Rayman 2. A multiplayer game, that doesn't matter. A multiplayer game, you don't need to worry about narrative cohesion. Just have a big ridiculous open world to play in and have fun. Like GTA Online, Rayman Online. It would be amazing. And I am fully in support of that. Some things I wouldn't necessarily want to see in a Rayman M remake though, like I've said, microtransactions, tons of life service stuff, let's not worry too much about that. I think everyone collectively agrees we don't want to see too much monetization, but in the same vein, if a multiplayer Rayman game did get made, I want to be realistic, I want to see the game live. So we have to kind of accept some level of monetization. I wouldn't want to see just a one-for-one remake, I would want it to essentially be the premise of Rayman M, but grander and more modern, because realistically the game modes, it's a bit limited. I think it's really good, but certainly in a modern landscape that could get boring, could get tedious. I don't want to see the AI being dumb. The AI is not very good in Rayman M and Arena, so if they could update that one a little bit, that would be great. To be honest, I don't really have lots of things I wouldn't want to see in this game, because really I would just want to see Rayman M scaled up and brought up to a modern landscape, basically. There's nothing inherently that I think could go wrong other than the monetization things and just bogging it down with live service crap. But I think generally just a big 3D multiplayer wacky huge Rayman experience could be tons of fun, and yeah, I actually can't think of any downsides or anything I wouldn't want to see in that, which is pretty cool. But of course I have to be realistic and say, if they're trying to revitalise the Rayman franchise with a remake, is it going to be the forgotten multiplayer entry? Probably not. I have to say, I think it's probably the least likely of the videos that I'm making. You know, I actually think Rayman Origins, Rayman Legends, Rayman Raving Rabbids, I think they're all more likely than seeing a Rayman M remake. Which is fine. This video is more just for fun. I want to get conversation going, so let me know down below. What would you want to see? How likely do you think it is? What wouldn't you want to see? What do you think of my pitch? If Mr. Ubisoft is watching, what do you think about hiring me for lots of money to come and direct the game for you? Because I got the ideas, that's all I'm saying. But yeah, be sure to tune in for the rest of my videos, Rayman 3, Raving Rabbids, Origins and Legends, as I go through the pros, cons, what I want to see, what I don't want to see, and maybe touching a little bit on how likely each game is going to be getting the remake treatment. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and become a channel member if you want to support the channel. That's pretty much all I got. Goodbye.